doctor measures your blood pressure, but almost no one measures the thing that controls it. A rhythm so precise, your heart has been waiting for it your whole life. Researchers at the National Institutes of Health documented it. Cardiologists at the University of Pavia studied it for over a decade. And yet, 96% of people walking out of their doctor's office with a blood pressure diagnosis will never hear about it. Not because it doesn't work, because it costs nothing. Tonight, you're going to learn the one breath pattern that may do more for your cardiovascular system than anything else you've tried. Blood pressure isn't a broken gauge. It's a nervous system that's lost its rhythm. Here's what most people are told. Your heart beats too hard. Your vessels are too tight. Take this pill. And sometimes that's necessary. But what almost no one tells you is that there is a feedback loop, an ancient biological conversation happening between your lungs, your heart, and your brainstem right now. And most of us have been breathing in a way that disrupts it every single day for years. For hundreds of thousands of years, human breath was regulated by the body's own demand. We ran, we rested, we moved through open terrain, and our breath responded. Long exhales after exertion, slow, rhythmic cycles during rest, bursts of fast breathing under threat. Your cardiovascular system was built to follow those patterns. But shallow chest breathing, the kind most adults do sitting at desks, staring at screens, quietly carrying stress, sends a different signal. It tells your nervous system, threat is still active, stay alert, keep pressure high, keep vessels constricted, and your body listens. Ancient Taoist physicians didn't call it blood pressure. They called it the river of the pulse, and they believed that breath was the only tool capable of regulating it from the inside. They weren't wrong. In 10th century Taoist medical texts, practitioners described a breath so slow it could still the river of the pulse. They prescribed 6 breath cycles per minute as the rhythm of deep restoration. Not 6 breaths per second, not 10, not 15. 6. Exactly 6. 1 breath every 10 seconds. They practiced it before sleep, after exertion, and during seated meditation. Not as ritual, as cardiovascular maintenance. Modern cardiology calls this coherent breathing or resonance frequency breathing. And here's what happens inside your body when you do it. Your lungs expand on a slow 5-second inhale. That expansion creates a drop in thoracic pressure, which briefly lowers the resistance your heart pumps against. Simultaneously, stretch receptors in your aorta, called baroreceptors, fire a signal up your vagus nerve to your brainstem. Pressure sensed, relax. Your heart rate slows slightly. Then you exhale for 5 seconds. Pressure normalizes. The baroreceptors fire again. Heart rate rises slightly. Inhale again. Slow. Exhale. Slow. When this happens at exactly 6 cycles per minute, something extraordinary occurs. Your heart rate variability, the healthy fluctuation between beats, enters a state researchers call coherence. Your cardiovascular system stops fighting itself. It synchronizes. Vessels dilate. Sympathetic tone drops. Blood pressure follows. A 2019 study from the University of Colorado found that participants who practiced 6 breath per minute breathing for 4 weeks showed significant reductions in resting systolic blood pressure. Comparable, researchers noted, to moderate aerobic exercise. A separate review published in the Journal of Human Hypertension analyzed 15 independent studies and found that slow breathing practices were associated with measurable reductions in both systolic and diastolic pressure in participants with elevated readings. Here's what's remarkable. None of those researchers fully understand why the 6-breath threshold is so specifically effective. They know the mechanism. Baroreceptor stimulation, vagal activation, sympathetic withdrawal. But why 6? Why not 5 or 7? The Taoist physicians couldn't explain it in those terms either. They just knew it worked, and they practiced it for 12 centuries before a single electrode was ever placed on a chest. You can feel this shift within 90 seconds. As your breath slows, you'll notice your shoulders drop without trying. Your jaw will soften. There may be a slight warmth in your hands as peripheral circulation opens. That's not relaxation in the psychological sense. That's vasodilation, your vessel walls physically loosening their grip. Ancient practitioners called that feeling the river slowing. Sports scientists call it parasympathetic dominance. Your body just calls it relief. The technique is called resonance breathing. Here's how to practice it. Sit upright, not rigid, but tall. Feet flat on the floor. hands resting on your thighs, palms up. Close your eyes or soften your gaze downward. Before you begin, take 3 normal breaths and let them go. You are not trying to force calm. You are creating the conditions for your nervous system to remember what calm feels like. Beginner version. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Exhale slowly through your nose or mouth for a count of 6. That's it. The longer exhale is the key. It extends baroreceptor stimulation and deepens vagal response. Do this for 3 minutes. Set a timer. Do not try to count breaths. Just count seconds. 4 in, 6 out. Repeat. Intermediate version. Extend both counts. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. This is the precise 6 breath per minute rhythm documented in the research. Use a gentle breath pacer app or simply count silently. Your chest should rise, but your belly should lead. If your chest is doing all the work, your breath is still too shallow to fully activate the baroreceptor loop. Practice for 5 to 7 minutes. Advanced version. Add a 1 to 2 second breath hold at the top of the inhale before a slow, controlled exhale. This brief retention amplifies the pressure shift in your chest cavity, deepening the cardiovascular signal. When you can sustain this rhythm for 10 minutes without losing count or feeling air hunger, you've reached what researchers call resonance proficiency. Most people get there within 3 weeks. Beginners, practice once daily for 3 minutes. Maintenance, 5 to 7 minutes, morning or evening. Mastery path, 10 minutes twice daily, ideally at the same time each day, to reinforce the autonomic rhythm. First session, you'll feel a softening. Tension you didn't know you were carrying will begin to release. After 3 days, you may notice you're breathing more slowly during the day without trying. After 7 days, many people report their resting heart rate feels lower even before checking it. After 30 days of consistent practice, the research suggests measurable improvements in heart rate variability, which is one of the strongest predictors of cardiovascular resilience we have. Important note, if you are currently on blood pressure medication, do not adjust your dosage based on this practice alone. Speak with your doctor. This technique is educational and complementary, not a replacement for medical care. If you feel dizzy or lightheaded, slow the breath further or return to normal breathing immediately. This isn't a breathing exercise. It's a conversation between your lungs and your heart, one that your body has been trying to have for years. Modern cardiology tells you blood pressure is something to manage. Ancient physicians knew it was something to regulate from the inside with breath daily as a practice. Your cardiovascular system isn't broken. It's waiting for the right signal. The baroreceptors in your aorta are still there. The vagus nerve is still wired to your brainstem. The ancient reflex is intact. It just needs the rhythm it was designed for. For over 1,000 years, Taoist physicians began each morning with this single practice, not to calm their minds, to maintain the river, to keep the pulse steady, to signal to every vessel in the body, the storm has passed, you are safe, the pressure can ease now. You just learned what though? So physicians considered the most important daily medicine they possessed, not as ceremony, not as spirituality, as cardiovascular architecture. Lower numbers on a monitor aren't the goal. They're the side effect. The goal is a nervous system that knows the difference between a real threat and a screen, a heart that can find its rhythm without being forced. Tonight, try 3 minutes. Tomorrow morning, notice how you breathe when you first wake up. In 7 days, notice whether that quiet in your chest arrives a little faster. It will. And if this reached you at exactly the right moment, you already know what to do. As always, keep breathing.